And we come to you from one of the truly iconic stadiums in the NFL as you get a look at Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tonight, we're on to week 2 in the NFL season as we've got a good one here between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. First game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go. Ready.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Red, cycle. Go red. Steel, black. Ready?
Here's Love. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there. The first drive here and the first time that we've called the big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers will get involved as this game goes on.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Love going to give this one to Jones. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Eddie Jackson with a tackle. The Packers at 1-0 on the year following the win in week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Love now. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 35. 14 yards that time for number 14.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Ready?
To pass, here's Jordan Love. This one swung out here to Jones. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy. But they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team is capable of.
Shot, 17. Hey, red.
They go back to the ground with Jones. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. And the tackle there by Elijah Hicks.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. Then everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Red. Black shot. Blue, go. You, yellow. Blue, striker.
Glove. He's got Watson. It's caught. Touchdown, Packers. A great effort there. Second touchdown on the season. And the Packers will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now Herbert to start the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Give every member of that unit a ton of credit for ripping off such a big gain there, because you don't get free for that many yards on a counter or misdirection without everybody selling the heck out of it.
On 1st and 10, it's Herbert. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42. This defense for the Packers, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
On 2nd down, a run with Herbert. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And let's see, the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on 3rd.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
Now it's Wilson. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 34-yard line. Nice 3rd down conversion at even 20 yards.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there, because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. Alex Leatherwood, the Alabama man, called for the penalty there. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Wilson. There's Mooney with another catch. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. To throw is Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake the block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Now Wilson. On the sideline, did he keep his feet in bounds? They say yes. Great job, both feet in, 1st down. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. A handoff for Herbert. And he pushes forward, but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and goal from the 1. He'll try again. But he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Now Wilson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's caught. Touchdown. Josh Oliver, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bears' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Santos able to tack on the extra point. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. From the 6. A solid return. Pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Now, they were winners in the season opener Sunday. Now they get the quick turnaround game here on Thursday night. But, CD, you say this is an ideal setup for them. Why?
Well, it's just the way the schedule lines up because everyone's got to play a Thursday game, and that's because of competitive balance. So, let's face it, would you rather play week 2 when you're still relatively fresh and excited about the season? Or week 15 when you've had a season's worth of bumps and bruises to factor in, and who knows what your record might be at that time as well.
Get ready.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And complete once again to Watson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Ready up.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
10 cycles.
On the counter, here's Jones. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
52 black. Yellow, go. Black ultra. 22 meter.
On 2nd and 9, Love. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
Yo, blue. Hey, blue. Cluster, 6.
Love looking to throw it. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Adrian Phillips. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. I tell you what, credit is due there on them preventing the touchdown after that interception.
How about him chasing him down and not giving up the pick 6? Because what happens a lot of the time is when you see the interception, you just kind of hang your head a little bit and you momentarily pause because you're frustrated. He shook that off and gave great chase and got it done.
Still a great return and very good field position. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
And they'll run again. Call it a gain of a couple. The defense stiffening here. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Herbert. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Santos' kick is up and through, and they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say we should have done better there.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Ready, go.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
560. Trail green. Ready.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And they string that play out nicely. He stopped before he can turn upfield. No gain, 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Ready.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. Two minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down.
Red cycle.
Now Love. That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Hey,
Here's Wilson. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Again, Wilson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he will have the Bears' 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Couple of 1st downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Again, it's Cooper as he makes the catch. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Quick throw, and he's got Amari Cooper. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Wilson will throw again. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Well, here's your first example of how this guy can beat you in more ways than one because they took away his arm, but he was more than happy to dissect them with his legs for that 1st down pickup.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. On 1st down, Wilson. And he'll just get rid of it.
Excellent recognition that none of his receivers were beating coverage and getting open, so he just threw that one away. They'll come back to the huddle, reset, and try something different.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing is Wilson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes.
And the Bears go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points.
Santos with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Bears 17 after 7.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. From the 6.
So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
They'll go again with Herbert.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Here's a give to Herbert. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
Ready, ready. Rail. 38.
They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Field, black.
To throw now. Here's Love.
He finds his receiver, Watson.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield.
But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Green jacket. Yellow, blue. Black, red. Red.
On second down, it's Jones. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Striker, 3-3. Set.
Love fires that quickly outside, and he'll be tackled right on the 10, well short of the first down. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Blankenship's kick is good. And they're back within a touchdown at 17-10.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40.
A huge play there for Chicago. 42 yards.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Here's Herbert.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Here's Wilson to throw. And he's got Cooper on the out route. That's complete.
Down inside the 10.
Touchdown Bears! Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now.
And the Bears have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
And now it's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. The The 20. And he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. Well, you figure with a veteran kicker out there, these extra points almost automatic, but this one turns into 2 points the other way.
And we both know it's hard to put it on him. I think there's a breakdown in the protection, but guess what? It does go against his record.
Following the botch PAT, they're set to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Working out of the gun. Love. Over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards that time for number 14.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Down. Hurry, hurry.
Love now to pass on first down. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. After the interception, here's Wilson. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 44-yard line.
What?
Wilson.
Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now Wilson. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it.
So potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
Watch out now. 50 Fury. Hunt.
Up the middle, Jones. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the Bears' 26-yard line.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here we go. Blue striker. Fight.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Love. He finds his target, Allen. And it's a Packers touchdown. Keenan Allen, 26 yards.
And the Packers have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet and said, go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. They'll run. It's Herbert. Room here to run. Past the 20. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try to get the ball back again.
First down, going to the air with Love.
Out routed, he connects with Freiermuth.
And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Jordan Love ready on first down here.
A check down here to Jones.
No gain, and it's second down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Like blue. Yo, blue. On the ball.
To throw again on second down.
Love. He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up for the 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now Jones. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half, you're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
And not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Love now. Touchdown, Packers! Keenan Allen, his 2nd touchdown of the night, and the Packers have cut it back within a score. Now Blankenship on for the PAT. And the lead is down to a field goal now. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at earliest opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
Now Herbert. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 98 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Herbert once more. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. From the 30 on 2nd down. Wilson, he's going to loft one deep left side here. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Bears get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Santos with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Packers take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Let's go.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now.
Down.
Now Love. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
Yeah, this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
Partner, they've been aggressive, airing it out all game long, and no better evidence than those last two snaps. They weren't going to beat this coverage, though, 2 plays in a row, and that one falls incomplete.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Cluster, 6. 6. 7.
Here's Love. He's got a man complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on first. And it's intercepted at the goal line. There he goes, left side. 20, 10, and they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
So a fourth quarter pick 6 here, and that one might put this game out of reach, CD.
I certainly agree with that, partner, and I know one thing, though. That team that just got the pick 6, they're going to keep playing until this one's over. Better be careful. They're looking to get another one.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
Takes it at the 7. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
At their own 22-yard line.
Ready.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high.